Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Манисом Фридманом, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rosa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник. По вторникам мы сразу же говорим в это время Thank God it's Tuesday, Thank God it's Tuesday. Сегодня я говорю дважды, потому что сегодня с нами не просто раввин Манисом Фридманом, как он обычно с нами в это время по вторникам, он собственной персоной сегодня у нас в студии. Это не может не радовать, особенно меня, потому что он сидит прямо здесь рядом. И когда он сидит рядом, то это вообще совершенно другое еще ощущение, чем просто с ним разговаривать, его видеть, вот, и с ним дышать одним воздухом. Это просто потрясающе. Так что я абсолютно не теряю время. У нас сегодня особый повод. Вышла вот такая вот интересная книга, которая называется I didn't ask to be born. Мы это много раз слышали от раввина Маниса Фридмана. Я не просил рождаться. И эту книгу раввин Манис Фридман написал с еще одним очень-очень интересным человеком. Это доктор Элад бен Илул. И они оба здесь в студии. И мы сейчас поговорим о таких вещах, которые вообще просто срывают крышу. Так что все, не теряю больше ни секунды. Вот они все здесь со мной. И hello. Welcome to the studio. This is amazing. This is such a treat for all of us, for me especially, for our listeners, for our radio, to have you here in person and to talk about something that is kind of controversial. Well, people think it is. Whether it is or it's not, we'll talk about it today. I didn't ask to be born. Like, this is something that I, for the first time, heard from Rabbi Manus Friedman, you know, and with an explanation. And now there's this whole book that came out, which you co-authored, Dr. Elul, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
The first thing is we have to find out what kind of a doctor he is.
Yes.
Not the one who makes money. Anthropology. So it's basically the study of humans from a social and cultural lens. My training was in London and in Tel Aviv University, and my research field was Ghana, West Africa. But the book really is also an anthropological book, because anthropology is trying to understand man, humankind. And this book is about the purpose of the creation of man. So it really is an anthropological question. For me, it was like the next level in anthropology, maybe a level that within academy I couldn't have explored freely. I had to like break the ceiling of academy to go up to the level of anthropology that asks questions that are beyond the limits of current academy. Yeah.
That's
Pretty
a
good,
lot.
huh?
That is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So what happened is that 3 years ago or 4 years ago?
4.
4 years ago, Elad calls me. We hadn't met. We didn't. He says, "I've been taking notes. Tell me if this is the correct story of your talks, and it's a book. You want to put out a book?" I said, "Yeah." And he wrote it in Hebrew, in Ivrit. So the book came out, and it's amazing. No one expected the book to be for the religious, for the secular, for the in-between, for the changing lives, people buying copies to give everybody of their friends. Now we translated it into English. If it does as well in English as it did in the Hebrew, we'll have a whole new country.
It's absolutely true. I mean, I started it yesterday and I went through half of it almost. It's such an easy, incredible read. And I thought that Rabbi Friedman makes things very simple and clear. And then this is even clearer and just concise. Like, you know what? This kind of, the thought that I had, this is like Cliff Notes of Rabbi Manus Friedman. Okay? So you took the entire Rabbi Manus Friedman and made a Cliff Note out of everything that he teaches in this one book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's a good summary. A good book review.
I had to make it accessible to everyone. First of all, to Israelis who don't know this, don't know Hasidut, don't know this necessarily type of explanation. So really start from scratch and go into more details. And I wanted the most secular person to be able to read it and be convinced and be interested. And kids and old people, so it's something that people give to their grandmothers as a gift, but they also give it to their 14-year-old child as a gift. It's something like in all the spectrum.
It's incredible. It also shows where we are in life today, that we need this information to be very quick, like what we can't listen to a 40-minute lecture anymore. We really need to read about it in like 3.5 minutes or so, because this is what it seems like. Like there's all these incredible lectures by Rabbi Manus Friedman that, you know, by the way, you know, it's very nice to meet a fellow groupie of Rabbi Manus Friedman. It's always very exciting. And you know, we listen to Rabbi Manus Friedman's lectures with pleasure, but sometimes we want to get that information or pass it on to somebody, and 40 minutes seems to be a little bit too much. And here you can actually get it in 3 minutes, which is pretty awesome, and it's very accessible and understandable. Rabbi Friedman, you're not insulted by being compressed and concise?
Oh, no. No. The amazing thing is, people say, we have no attention span anymore, we can't listen. But when you're interested, you can be hours on the phone doing something you're interested in without distractions at all. So once you get somebody's attention, not a problem. So you got to get their attention in the first 3 minutes.
Mm.
Then it just flows, right? But the amazing thing is that these questions are so fundamental. I didn't ask to be born. It's so basic. It's so simple. It took us 5,000 years to ask this question. Why was I born? And nobody ever gave an answer to this question. Not philosophy, not religion, not science. Nobody even bothered to answer this question. How is that even possible? So once you ask that question, all sorts of doors open up in the brain. Like, yeah, that question has been in the back of my mind for years. Like, what am I doing here? It explains the anxiety that we're all suffering from. What are you anxious about? Everything. No, you're anxious because you don't know why you're here. That's not enough to cause you anxiety? I didn't ask to be born. All of a sudden, I'm here. I have all sorts of responsibilities and jobs to do. Well, why? What? It creates anxiety. So finally answering this question, you say even children, teenagers, babies are asking the question, why am I here? I didn't ask to be born. And nobody has an answer. That can't be. So I think that's why it's the title itself sells the book.
Yeah. It's I told you before, there are two reactions usually to the title. One is like, oh, I did ask to be born. But I did. And the other one is, this is about me. This is me. I didn't ask to be born. So some people, they see it and it really opens up like an experience that they carry. And other people, they see it and they kind of push it off and they oppose it and they say, no, I chose to be here.
I chose to be born as kind of a new age philosophy. You choose your parents and you choose. If that's true, we make very bad choices.
But this book is obviously, we already covered the fact that it's very concise. It's very quick. It's you know, you get to the questions are there and the answers are quick to get to. So what does this say about the society today? What does it mean? What, you know, it's everything is a supply demand. So what is the demand? What kind of demand do we have in the spiritual sense today? What, as a society, do you, because obviously you had in mind who you're addressing, who you're targeting, which is everybody. So can you assess where are we as a society as far as, you know, our minds are when it comes to comprehension of God, understanding the purpose, you know, searching for answers, getting answers. Where do you think we are as a society today?
As an anthropologist.
Oh. I think we're at the best point we were ever in history, because our brains are the most developed. We are very educated. There's never been a time in history so many people have been college graduate or just able to read.
Right.
But this goes even deeper. We're interested in the human spirit. We're interested in the human soul. We're interested in meaning. We are available to explore, and people are exploring deep things. It goes as wide as possible, so that's why it has to have, like a, as you said, like a quick entry point, but then you can take it as far as you can. So some people would say, I read it through a whole Shabbos, I just finished reading it. Some people say, I'm reading it for 2 years, I'm studying it. This is a study book. You have references, you have really, really deep ideas. So it's about how deep you go, but maybe you need quick entry points. Like we are living in a ADHD kind of era. Mm-hmm. So some people say this book is designed for ADHD because it has short chapters, many titles, and quotes that are big, so you can enter quickly. But once you enter, and as the rabbi said, you realize this is interesting for you, you can go as deep as you can. You can dive in really, really deep, and we are equipped for it. Our generation has a really, really high capability, emotional and mental. So
you think our comprehension has evolved in our day and age?
Definitely. We're ready for Mashiach's Torah. So we are incredibly sharp and deep and demanding good answers and not accepting bad answers. Yeah.
Rabbi Friedman, hearing this, does that make you change your style of teaching?
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
I'm not even sure what my style is. I just talk. You know something, say it. What else is there, right? But I think what the answer before the question. Let me tell you what the answer is, and then you'll see what questions it covers and solves. Instead of working through all the problems and trying to find the solution is already given. We're here for a purpose. We're here to serve God. We're here to make the world a godlier place. That's it. Now, what questions are left? And whatever they're left, this will answer it. So putting the answer before the question, or putting the punchline first, and then the details, rather than working through all the details to get to the conclusion, which is, I'm not sure it's the best way to learn. We also don't have patience for it.
You compiled this book on all of the most really important questions. So the punchline is, I didn't ask to be born. And then there's a whole bunch of topics that go into, okay, Understand. By the way, Rabbi Friedman, I just have to say that it's amazing how everywhere now I personally look, it's your teachings. It's really your teachings. It's wherever you bring to the world. I mean, from JTV, from Ali, he basically takes your ideas and he compiles them, and he really very well, he transforms them and he teaches them. And I hear you. I mean, he is talking, but I hear you, and it's amazing. And I'm just wondering how many other people out there that you have influenced so much that they want to transmit this incredible message that you've been teaching to the masses.
Well, if I had Oli's accent, his British accent, I'd be famous. So anything he says sounds good. But yeah, he's very good.
He's very good. And now I get to meet Dr. Alil, which is also such a tremendous treat. I try to do the best I can here on the radio and, of course, in the classes outside of the radio. Because can I ask you, what was like the most profound thing that you found? What made you like want to take Rabbi Mannisom Fridman's teachings and pass them on in this book or through other things? Like, what grabbed you the most? What was the it message? And then I'll share mine.
Easily the fact that God needs us.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like a life-changing moment, and it's a different, like, it's the first time I saw God from a whole other perspective, that brings out what I have to give for him, what I can do for him. And also it created this love to him, because suddenly I saw that he's perfect, but he doesn't have yet what he needs, what he wants, and it's up to me to do the best I can to help him with it. So that was for me really exciting and life-changing.
Were you observant at that point already?
I was just starting and exploring and starting to practice more, but this was completely something that changed. It made me cross over completely to a place where I try to do everything I can for him.
Amazing. I'll share mine if you don't mind. Also,
Sure.
One of the lectures that I listened by Rabbi Mannisom Fridman one day, I think I was prepping for Passover, also there, but not quite. And that was a lecture about God being vulnerable. When I heard that just made the distance between me and God like so much closer, because it's like, oh wow, he's not like this almighty Oz that is not accessible to any of us. And, creator of the world, wow, it's overwhelming. But no, he's close. He wants a relationship. He is vulnerable. He told us what he wants, and we just have to learn about it and develop this relationship. So, Rabbi Friedman, that was for me life changing. So yeah, same thing. It's amazing. Thank you so much for that.
So at Mount Sinai,
Mm-hmm.
when God started to speak to the people, they died from excitement. Right? They fainted from pleasure. What was the pleasure? Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill? That was a pleasure? The pleasure was, God said, Anechi Hashem, I, God the Infinite, am yours. People fainted, as they should. The creator of the world, God himself, says, I'm yours. So what could we do but to say, okay, so we'll be yours. But they didn't die because God's voice was so loud that it killed them, or so angry, or so scary. What did they die from? It's something to faint over. You want me? I mean, the fact you created me is already a little weird. Like, what do you need me for? You created the whole world so that you can have me? Why shouldn't you faint? Okay, we're a little callous by this time in history, so we don't faint. But anybody who hears it and is not radicalized, anyone who hears it is like, you got to faint from this. It's irresistible. God is depending on me? Well, case closed. What are you going to do? Oh, should I listen to him? Should I? What kind of question is that? It's irresistible. So I don't need to be threatened with punishment. I don't need to be bribed with reward. God needs something from me? What's the question?
Let's go home.
Okay, we can go now.
Do you see that women tend to absorb this message faster or better, because somehow the vulnerability, like you described, they don't associate the vulnerability with a weakness, and they don't understand what's the problem. Of course, it's so divine, it's so godly, what you're saying. And usually sometimes men have more of a, they associate vulnerability with weakness, and then they're saying maybe we're attributing weakness to God, and then so they try to.
I don't know if it's mostly men, but yes, there is that pushback. What are you saying? God needs you? God is awesome. The answer is, yeah, he's awesome. His vulnerability is awesome. So it's not like some guy who needs you. He needs you. That's scary, awesome, beautiful. So this worry about you reducing God. What do you mean reducing him? This whole thing came from that conversation I had with this guy on the phone. He says, "What can I do to feel Jewish?" I said, "Put on tefillin." He says, "When I try doing Jewish things, I've had a bad experience." So he's practicing Christianity. So I said, "Look, nobody's Jewish because it's been a good experience. So join the club. If you do what God needs from a Jew, you feel like a Jew. If you do what God needs from a non-Jew, you feel like a non-Jew." He says, God needs? This is how the whole thing started. How can God need? He's almighty. This guy was a retired psychiatrist. So I said to him, are you suggesting that vulnerability is a weakness? He didn't know what to say. Because in psychology, the big news, the big insight is that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. So if it's a strength, then certainly God has that strength. And not only does he have it, it's infinite. So he's infinitely vulnerable. That's not awesome? Yeah, you're shaking your boots. Because how are you going to love him back the way he loves you? You feel completely humbled. That's the awesomeness. So instead of being in awe of God because he doesn't care, why are you in awe? The awesome thing is how much he cares. Now we got something to talk about. Now you can love him, as you say.
Rabbi Friedman, in this book, you actually said that Judaism is the future of psychology.
The difference between being needy and being needed. Mm-hmm. When you don't know that you're needed, you become very needy. If I'm not necessary, then what am I? Anybody love me? Anybody want me? Anybody? So you become very needy. needy is already unhealthy. Because we're not created to be needy. We're created because we're needed. That's the future of psychology. If you look deep into yourself, you'll discover more needs. If you look above yourself, you'll realize, I don't need anything. So why look for trouble when you can be free of need, but needed? Doesn't that tell you the whole story?
Yeah, it actually does.
It answers everything.
Yeah, and it's actually a feel-good understanding. This is something that makes us feel good. Everything else, not so much. But this one is a definite yes.
Yeah, but not feel good like having a fun time.
No,
Feel good means it feels right.
Being here feels good. Being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one more thing that I really liked, and this I believe was in the preface that you, of course, came from you, and it's that Judaism today isn't about survival; it's about rediscovery. Rediscovery. That kind of struck a chord. Can you elaborate? Why do you say it's rediscovery? I mean, I thought it was a discovery.
So I think in the times of exile, we're still in exile on some level, but not the same as we're nearing a different age already. And before it was all about just like say whatever it takes to the people to get them to keep on observing, just so that they don't assimilate, so that they keep on observing, and all the means are kosher to get them to do it. If you want threaten them, if you want scare them, you have to get them to do it so that we don't disappear. Everything is about not disappearing. So you have all the chumrot, and you have like the separating yourself from the world and hiding from the world and differentiating yourself, and everything is very, while as now we have like such a strong identity and a history and a base and all the treasures, and we're kind of looking back and we see, wow, who can argue with this? Everything we've been through, the truth is there. So we're available to rediscover what was Judaism really about. What was its source? What was it about before exile? What did people feel in the times of the temple and Solomon's temple? How was it like to experience God then? It's Hasidus generally is about rediscovery. Nothing new about it really. It's more about remembering what we used to know and got lost.
Yeah, and thank you for putting in some of the things that I heard only from Rabbi Mannisom Fridman for some reason, and that was always my question to him. Rabbi Fridman, why do I get this perspective only from you? It's about the real story about Adam and Eve, the real story about Babel, the real story about Torah, every aspect of Torah, the real story, not what we've been learning. You know, yes, we learn Torah every year, but that perspective that only you hear from Rabbi Fridman. Do you agree with me? Have you ever heard it from anybody else?
I didn't know before that I'm listening to something but slowly I realized that it's a very unique perspective. And it didn't surprise me that I connected to it, because I'm always looking for the unique perspective.
Connected, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That aspect of Torah is beautiful. This is what I want to learn. By the way, I'm going to point to the book one more time. I didn't ask to be born. It's available everywhere in English. Everything we're talking about is in here, and the perspectives, if you want to get them quick and be blown away, thank you for putting it together. And Rabbi Fridman, most importantly, thank you for saying it. And yes, I'm going to ask again, why are you the only one who is giving us this perspective on Torah that really is what all of us are craving? Obviously, I'm not the only one, and I'm sure like a zillion people will agree to it.
I took out a copyright. It's actually Hasidut.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, a minister in Russia, you know, Russia?
Yeah.
A minister who was, he was questioning the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. He said, this movement is a political movement, isn't it? Because you've had the Torah for thousands of years. What's all of a sudden? What's with this new way of, it must be political. And the Rebbe answered it in a way that's completely enlightening. He said the Torah is like water. Water is essential to life. Without Torah, there's no life. Water cannot be contaminated. But you can put contaminants in the water. So when you say a lake that's contaminated, you don't mean the water, you mean there's junk in it. So what do you do when there's junk in the water? You put the water over a fire, in a chainik, in a samovar, and you burn off the garbage, and the water remains clean again. Over the 2,000 years of exile, a lot of stuff that doesn't really belong in Torah, in Judaism, kind of found its way in and it accumulated. Hasidus is the fire that burns away the unwelcome stuff so that we have the Torah in its pure, life-giving form again. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying drop the stuff that doesn't belong. Go back like reunite, reinvent, rediscover just Yiddishkeit. It's not a religion. It was never meant to be a religion. So don't become religious on me. Just find out what God wants from you and from everybody around you, and let's get to work and make the world what God wants. You have to be religious for that? No, you have to be created for that. So why was I born? For that. And it's such a relief to know. So I'm not the problem? I'm not a problem? No, I'm the solution to making the world a godly place. Is that radical? No, it's the original message of Judaism without the accumulated stuff about psychological problems and religious crises. And stop with all that stuff. God created you. He gave you the ability to do what He needs from you. So, do it.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so grateful for this moment, and I speak on behalf of our entire community, our entire radio, everybody who's going to be listening to this later on YouTube or now, doesn't matter. So listeners, viewers, audience, doesn't matter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, first of all, for coming and being here and allowing us to really feel and understand this book, this incredible book, putting it together. I didn't ask to be born. It's sold everywhere. Definitely recommend for people to. It's a very easy and very important read that's going to benefit absolutely everybody. It doesn't matter in what state of life they're, state of being, state of mind that they're in, it's going to benefit. So thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you're doing on a daily basis. You're influencing.
And thank you for doing what you're doing, because we got to do everything we can on radio, on paper, and writing, and speaking, and because, first of all, that's what God created us for, and second of all, without it, life is no fun whatsoever.
Rabbi Fridman, thank you for being such an incredible inspiration to us who are sitting here and to so many who are just benefiting from everything you do on a daily basis, every moment. Whatever you do just really changes the world and makes it so much better. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you so much. And thank you for putting it in a easy read, quick format for all of us as well. It's very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, this was an amazing experience for all of us. So looking forward to more amazing conversations together.
We'll leave you a book.
Ищите настоящий вкус Турции в Бруклине? Добро пожаловать в Тейсис Бетти. Ресторан с традициями более 38 лет. Только представьте.